Championship weekend moving right on down the tracks in the Old North State. We welcome you back to Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem, North Carolina on the Wake Forest campus as Kinston and Walkertown are set to do battle. We got the Vikings and the Wolfpack, only room for one to stand tall as the 3A men's champion. With that, we do welcome you back inside along my broadcast partner, Kevin Cantwell. What a story he is. His time at Georgia Tech, certainly here in the state of North Carolina as a head coach and a developer of young men just like this. This, as you know as well as anybody, Coach, is about developing these young men with a lifetime memory.
Yes, it is. And today is going to be a lifetime memory. Win or lose, it's going to be a lifetime memory. But yes, and these kids, it's part of their journey. They're going to have it and see what happens today. But whoever loses, that's okay.
Again, he's Kevin Cantwell, Jason Patterson with you. Thankful you're with us for this ride in the state championship environment. Let's take a look at the players we're keeping an eye on in this one. There are a number of playmakers all over the floor, but you've settled in on Justin Gooding for Kinston as our Riddle and Riddle player to rely on.
Well, they have a whole slew of them, but this kid is a scorer. He puts it up, and they have a whole list of scorers, but he's the leading scorer. Not the leading scorer, but he puts it up a lot.
Going to be a critical performer in this one, Justin Gooding. We keep an eye on for Kinston. You flip over on the Wolfpack side of things for Walkertown. Who do you highlight here, Coach?
Kenny Green, Grady. Now, what's great about him, he scores 14 points a game, but he's shooting 51% from the field. So I want to see how he does that, because he's a driver scorer. 51% is high.
Underscore that, up over 50% from the field. He's our Riddle and Riddle player to rely on in this one. Let's turn our attention to the Ingles food for thought. These are your keys to the game. Walk us through them.
Well, Kinston create turnovers. They press, they hit hard, and they have to share the ball. They have to give it up, share it, and walk it down, stay out of foul trouble, and make shots. They have to make shots. And both teams do today.
Those keys, the name of the game. That's our Ingles food for thought. Ingles, low prices, love the savings. A 3A crown going to be handed down here in just a bit. We got Kinston and Walkertown coming your way next on the Sinclair Family of Networks around the Carolinas. The 3A men's season all coming down to this. Vikings, Wolfpack, Kinston, Walkertown, and the ball is in the air. We are underway. Our broadcast presented by Riddle and Riddle Injury Lawyers, coming your way from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the North Carolina High School Athletic Association championship game.
Walkertown is in the zone, 2-1-2.
out. Herring rims out. Boy, look at the length there on the rebound. And finally into the hands of McKendy's. Looks out front, little stop, and deliver. Rolls off the front of the iron on Wiley, and neither team able to score on their first trip. Ball out of bounds, but last touched by Walkertown. Here's a look at the Kinston starting lineup. Going to be the combo of Kuntz, Chambers, Wiggins, Washington, and Herring on the Tatum and Atkinson starting lineup.
And they're all guards. Washington's really a nice player. They're all guards in a way. They have no inside presence. As you could say, you know, they have nothing. They're going to play it outside. Walkertown's playing zone.
Not their MO, at least, right? Anything on the interior.
No,
you're going to see that on both sides.
They're making adjustments.
Quick takeaway. There's A.J. Durant, one of the juniors at 6'5", the forward, and thinking about stopping and taking one with Rico Daniels, and by the time he restarted, there was a traveling violation in effect. Wiley, McKendy's, Daniels, Grady, and Durant, the starters. Again, all of our starting lineups brought to you by Tatum and Atkinson. Tatum and Atkinson, sponsors of our starting lineups. Injured in a car wreck, call the heavy hitters at Tatum and Atkinson. How about the starting unit we just showed you a moment ago there for the other team, Coach?
Very similar. Both teams are very similar in play. This is going to be a game that's going down to the wire. I really do believe that, if you take care of the ball.
You believe these two teams are mirror images of one another in many ways.
Yes. And
there's a look at the head man. Of course, the name familiar, Daniels, Richard Daniels. And then Perry Tyndall, who is calling the shots for this Kinston squad. 21-3, 8-2 in the conference. And for Walkertown, a 20-win club also, 20-8 on the year under Coach Daniels. So these teams well equipped and working their way here. You think about the playoff run for Kinston, regional champ over Martin County, so many good teams. Big win on a big stage to get here. And then obviously for Walkertown, winning against Shelby to make the fourth round for the first time in school history. And well, know what that means about this is the first time in school history. Walkertown set to inbound now. First point's hard to come by. It's a familiar refrain sometimes in a building like this.
It's going to happen. Probably the first quarter. Nice offense.
Some of those jitters, some of those nerves, some of them just straight adjustments on the length of the floor and the depth perception of the rim. And that is turned aside with force by Chambers.
Good transition defense by Walkertown.
You know, Chambers may think it's football. He's a Marshall football commit. He's in the right colors, right? That green. And the senior has the rejection on the other end. Rising above, but he can't make contact with the rim, and it's Walkertown's.
Very bad selection of shots there.
Well, there's going to be a foul call as Herring was trying to reach in there. Have not yet introduced you to our officials, but they are out of the Southeastern Officials Association in the Fayetteville area. Kevin Williamson, Joshua Owens, and Bryce Spiegel, the trio, handling things in this one. Congratulations to that trio. Again, it is an honor to be selected as an official in one of these state championship games. This is the one they're chosen to work. After putting it on the deck, a little back and forth, and it's in the hands of Herring. Herring's the leader, the junior. He's one of three all-conference players. Herring, Wiggins, Washington. We could really call them the big three if we wanted to, Coach. All of those all-conference performers for the guys in green.
Exactly right. And Washington's a nice player, They are not going to just take a three, I'll tell you that. They're very disciplined there.
Keenan Grady is the lone all-conference performer in the starting lineup for Walkertown. Of course, Jordan Autry comes off the bench, and the junior received that honor as well. So just a tremendous player wearing jersey number 10, and on cue, it's in his hands.
It's good defense. Not taking any chances.
McKendy's, and that'll be lost beyond the end line and belongs to Kinston. What are you seeing early from these two as they try to find their scoring and their rhythm?
They're trying to find. It's like practice. They're trying to just figure out, settle in each one.
Just never as easy as it looks or as easy as you planned it out or mapped it out when you rolled off the bus.
The thing about it is, the defenses, two defenses doing that are making it tough.
Yeah, sometimes we say the offenses are struggling when in reality the defenses are making it difficult. Out front, this should be the first points of the contest. It will. A.J. Durant laying them home. The junior will have the first bucket of the game.
Someone missed the assignment there. So this zone is like slowing Kinston down. And Kinston knows right away they're not going to shoot the three automatic. They're very patient, which is good. You need to attack that. You need to go into the gaps. You need to go. You can't. Passing is not going to get done.
Just the one bucket thus far, and the Wolfpack trying to double their pleasure right now. Guess who tried to put it back? That was Durant. His follow won't go. Here comes Kinston again. Nice control for Keyshawn Herring. You know, you talk to the Vikings, they'll tell you Keyshawn Herring is the leader. The junior showing his skill set right there. Again, one of those big three, Genesis Wiggins, Jamarion Washington would complete that trio we're talking about.
It's a solid man-to-man. They're not over-pressuring anything. They're just playing solid, keeping them in front of you, which is tough to do.
Nearly a straight takeaway, and now we get the clenched fist and the whistle of the foul call. Standing by to enter the contest is Jordan Autry. We mentioned he's an all-conference performer. You'll see him in the lineup on the other side of the break. Just a bucket apiece with 3 and change to go in the first.
The broadcast stream of these championship games is brought to you by Tip Top Roofing, Faith Family Roofing.
Original Grills has been giving you a window into the fans who've made the trip to the state championship environment. Here's a look at the Original Grills fan cam. Original Grills, elevate your grill game. These two teams have certainly elevated their game. Vikings and Wolfpack elevating it to the point of making it into the state championship round. And Coach, what have you seen from these two in this first quarter?
Game hasn't started yet. One team's played zone and one plays main man. Here we go.
What a way to say it. And a little touch is there and one opportunity coming. They will gather up around Washington. You said he's a special player, Coach. The junior shows you why right here. Walk us through this.
That's defensive. He stole that ball. It was nice. And they've scored 2 baskets have been scored in this game, both in transition. You know, the half-court defense is doing great. Kingston's running a man, and Walkertown's doing a zone.
For the Vikings, he's going to the line for a Tatum and Atkinson free throw opportunity.
He is lefty, too.
A southpaw out there, no less. Yeah. And getting the job done. Free throw is good. Just like that, Kinston out front. Breather for Rico Daniels. Candy's back in the mix. Told you going to break, Jordan Autry was out there. He wears jersey number 12. He's going to have to help out right here and won't be able to get there in time as it'll stay this direction. But Autry's a junior guard. He's all conference along with Grady. And he's one of the first off the bench for this Walkertown squad.
Kingston came out and trapped there real quickly, and they almost got a turnover.
There's a look at Autry.
See a different look there. So trying to get a feel for each team right now.
There's one of double-digit subs available on that Walkertown bench. The Wolfpack bench is deep. Speaking of Grady, we'll work it around to the far side, and Autry loses the handle. Football pass. Completion is made. How about
right now,
the job by Kuntz right there?
Take care of the basketball.
And here Kuntz with his first bucket of the game, both 15s. He and Durant involved early. Fans getting in behind them, and a lower bowl that is filling up here at Lawrence Joel. Speaking of Durant, he weaves right through and answers his counterpart wearing jersey number 15.
That was nice patience. They could have run and took a quick shot. That was very good patience.
I could see you settling in here, Coach. You're seeing these players settle in, and you like what both these teams can bring to the table. Neither
team is what I call jacking up threes. That's a good three. That's a good three.
Well, not only is it a good take of the three, it is a good three in that it's through the hoop. Brennan Chambers getting the job done. That's a Paramount Auto three-pointer. Little stop and go. Autry can't get it to fall. Follows his own shot. Still going for it. And his all-conference teammate was there, Grady. Neither of their shots will go down.
That wasn't a good offensive possession.
Have to get used to these rims, have to get used to the depth perception, length of the floor, all those things we've been talking about. Not taking any getting used to for Washington right now. The junior with another bucket, and it's Kinston with a 12-4 split on the start.
That's where Walkertown, they broke down defensively. They broke down. He just drove right to the basket. If you get by the front line of his own, you go right to the basket.
Well, a little floater in the lane there was a beautiful finish when all was said and done. And you're right, Coach. Look at the way Washington does that. No real surprise right now what we're seeing in terms of the big three making their mark. Take me inside that Kinston huddle right now. What's the conversation about how well things are going?
I think offensively, they're taking better shots. The last two possessions, the shots were very good.
For the split on the start of our broadcast presented by Riddle Injury Lawyers of the work here in Winston-Salem on Championship Friday in North Carolina.
This is a different look.
Turned aside. That was Chambers again. Scooped up by Grady.
Yeah, be patient.
Grady decided to go coast to coast, but he couldn't finish. Kuntz, plenty of elevation. Pulled down by Durant. Now slowing it up just a little bit.
They're not nervous, that's for sure.
Eric Wiley, the senior. No, these are game faces. Now he stepped out of bounds, but that was the contact by Wiggins that caused that as much as anything, as Grady will give the basketball aside. And Genesis Wiggins was getting ready to inbound it. Got a change coming for Kinston. Jalen Hawkins into the game. Hawkins is senior, seeing his first action of the state championship environment. Ball inbound to Herring. Tell me about Keyshawn Herring, who has the basketball coming up the floor with it.
Well, 51% from the field is the lead scorer. I want to see how 51% is high. So he's taking good shots.
He tried to lob that inside as a pass, but it was not to be. Speaking of lobbing one inside, this is in Durant's direction, cleaned up by Wiley. Contact there, no whistle as it goes out of the hands of Autry. Back and forth continues, none of which has involved any scoring of late. Final seconds of the first. Rolls off the front of the iron, and it's that 12-4 start for Kinston that stands up after 1 quarter of action. Walkertown and Kinston into it now. One stanza in the books as they battle it out for the 3A men's title. One quarter behind us in the championship game between Kinston and Walkertown. Here's a look at the arthritis knee pain center statistics from the first. What are your takeaways?
Well, I think right away is that they had a couple turnovers. Walkertown had a couple turnovers that really stopped them scoring when they needed to score. But
well, that ended up being arthritis knee pain center's relief without surgery or opioids. Reminder that they're sponsoring our stats. Points in the Paint brought your way by Ready to Roll Garage Doors, Raleigh's garage door experts, and you can see doubling them up right now, Kinston, when it comes to the Ready to Roll points in the paint.
Walkertown defensively has to get back because they're going to be able to transition because Kinston wants to run.
Three from the corner, true. There's Jaden McKendy's again. And here's a key Paramount Auto three-pointer from McKendy's. Paramount Key of Asheville. You can find out more at ParamountAuto.com on each three ball today. We remind you to check out Paramount Auto.
Walkertown has to really tighten up the zone because Kinston doesn't really want to shoot the three. They want to drive the ball to the basket.
As you said, on cue, Washington with the take.
Have to contain that ball. Walkertown has to contain the perimeter.
Washington goes right toward the hoop, and Washington already has 7 in the contest. He's got 7 of the 14 Kinston has scored.
The shot selection is big here.
And there's Autry. A couple of times he tried it, once from distance, once from the interior. He's now in the scorebook. Remember, an all-conference performer in his own right.
They cannot get beat on the perimeter, which should get them beat.
Look who's going to the hoop here. Wiggins. Doesn't matter if it's Washington, Wiggins, Herring. Plenty of confidence for the group in green right now.
It's a little too easy.
16-9 to split. Washington, as we said, was 7. Leading the way.
Dribbling
on this
or getting more trouble in basketball. dribbling.
It's kind of part of what you have to do to play the game, right, Coach?
You don't. You really don't.
Coach Kevin Cantwell saying you don't really have to dribble it.
Nah,
in this instance, no dribble was necessary. Grady takes it straight up and in.
Well, literally. I don't mean
Walkertown with a bucket. The lead just 5 now.
I say wasted dribbles. That's
there you
probably
go.
The
Extra dribbles, yeah. Unnecessary dribbles. Coach's nightmare. Back out top to Herring. He goes down the lane. Herring with another bucket. You know, Herring with a couple of buckets already in the contest. Wiggins has been there. Washington leading the way. Just impressive what this trio can do. And they're not alone. Surrounding cast members, tremendous as well. We've seen Chambers and Kuntz make their mark. This is a solid group, the Kinston Vikings. Tapped up, tapped into the seats, about 10 rows deep. That'll keep you awake back there. And it comes right back to
now I see
floor.
how Herring shoots 51%. They just take layups. I mean, they're driving the ball right to the basket.
When you're on point blank range, you're going to have that. And Justin Gooding into the contest. He'll come right out top and cover Daniels. Highlighted Gooding out front for you. He's contesting here. It'll be a turned aside possession as Kuntz has it and back into the hands of Gooding just that quick. Here's Herring.
That's just a bad shot.
Everything's slowed up to Herring.
You need to pack it back because Kinston does not want to shoot threes.
All right, put that in layman's language for everybody at home.
Well, they shot it there, but initially they don't want to shoot a three. They want to go through. They want to penetrate.
We'll get to it in a moment. It's a Paramount Kia of Asheville three-pointer once again. ParamountAuto.com. Sponsors of those threes, and just like that, Kinston out front 21-11. I ask you to put that in layman's terms, pack the back. Walk everybody through what you're talking about there, Coach.
Got to pack it back because as soon as they're trying to beat you,
yes.
And if they beat you on the perimeter, they're going to be a layup.
You're trying to compensate for that drive to the bucket that we've seen earlier, and the tough part with Kinston is they can do what we just saw there. Trying a three of his own, Autry won't go. The appropriately named to be a sharpshooter from the outside, right? Autry?
Right.
Gotta love a name like that when you're looking for a sharpshooter. He tried to jump that, could not get the basketball. And a drive to the baseline by Chambers. And here comes Autry. Other end. And we got an offensive call. Stepping in, taking the charge, 1-5. Kuntz, and it is headed the other way. This is worth another look.
Yeah. At 4-on-1 break. 4-on-1 break, you never pass the ball. There's 4 guys there.
And it ends up being a player control
Tough
foul
ball.
in the end.
Tough.
Hey, a reminder, we are moments away from halftime. Air Experts Heating and Cooling halftime report will be coming your way. We'll have a special interview with Q Tucker, Commissioner of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. You'll see more highlights just like the one you saw the replay of there. To go along with it, we'll have the numbers, all that coming your way as part of the Air Experts Heating and Cooling halftime report. 4 and change left until we get there. Nice, aggressive from Durant, and he's able to get back. It's a long 3, back of the iron. Eventually gathered up by Chambers. He's fighting for real estate in there, and it's tapped out to Washington. What a possession this is proving to be for Kinston. Let's talk about second chance points. How about fourth or fifth chance points?
Exactly. It all started out with a missed 3. And you just pack it back, depending. If you don't want them to shoot 3s, get out there. Let them shoot 3s, back it up. I don't want them to drive, to be honest with you.
Well, they're driving now.
I don't want them to drive.
Underneath the hoop, but that's going to be a traveling violation. So it'll go the other way.
I would rather see Kinston shoot 3s than drive. I really would.
Take a look at the sharpshooters we've seen in this one. It all shakes out to a 10-point advantage for the Vikings at the moment. Well, you want to stick around at the conclusion of this game. We will select the Akeem Anastopoulos play of the game. Don't scream, call Akeem. Dial 800 all 7s. Akeem Anastopoulos, sponsors of our play of the game. We will also select a player of the game, brought to you by Riddle and Riddle. When justice counts, Riddle and Riddle, and candidates beginning to emerge for our player of the game. You know, Washington right now for Kinston has 7 to lead all scorers. You got a handful of different players led by Durant who have a bucket or 2 apiece on the Walkertown side of things. But the lead right now steady at double digits with 3:38 to play in the second.
Walkertown really has to watch it right now. They have to watch because they have to stay in this game. They're getting beat on the boards. They're getting beat in turnovers. I mean, they're getting turned over, and at the same time, they're not shooting the ball well. So,
well, and think on
it's
this.
a crucial time right now.
A couple of 3-pointers for Kinston connected on in this game, not to mention the fact that they're shooting 40% overall in the contest, with a lot of that work being done in the paint. So it's been from within and from without for the Vikings. Well, play continues. Kinston fans beside themselves, but we roll on. Little stop pop, and it ends up working beautifully. Nice little teardrop in there to cut it to 21-13. Answer on the other end is going to require free throws as Herring is set to go to the line. Foul on Grady this time around, and for Grady, that's going to be, I believe, let me double check it and make sure, his first personal, and it is.
Transition offense, Kinston wants to go every time they take it and go. And Walkertown has to get back. They're getting beat on transition.
See-through construction free throw.
Have to get back on.
Is a little too deep. All of our free throws in this second quarter brought to you by See-Through Construction, your contractor of choice on the OBX. See-Through Construction. Spent some time out on the Outer Banks along the way?
No.
Beautiful part of the state.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's way out there.
It is. You got to make a day trip of it.
It's way out there.
More than a day trip of it, I should say. You got to take some time out there. North Carolina, such a state with vast resources. These players coming your way from all over the state across this championship environment on a long week of championships, and long in a very good way.
Some of a different look now.
Championships in Winston-Salem today. Glad to have you with us on Sinclair stations all across the Carolinas and the Outer Banks and beyond. And saving it in, but right into the hands of Wiggins. Directing a little traffic that time was Washington. He was calling for a little help from Chambers. It'll go into Herring's hands. 22-13 with 2:38 to go. Out of the east. A little too strong. Somehow gets it back and tosses it off to Chambers, who finishes relentlessly.
Washington's a tough play. That was a very good pass, but it was a great move by Washington. He missed it. What an offensive rebound.
He's trying to throw something up is Wiley, and that's going to be a traveling violation. Seen it the other way. And Coach, I go to your point from a moment ago. Wolfpack have to be very careful right here that Kinston doesn't slide away and hide.
They're not offensively. They're not together. They're everybody's go one-on-one a little bit. Have to take their time.
Perry Tyndall and his staff doing a really nice job. Of course, that staff including Tad Parsons, Jackson Fink, Carson Shepard, Tigger Clark, and Danny. Those individuals who've done such a nice job to complete the staff with Perry Tyndall. Again, Tad Parson, Jackson Fink, Carson Shepard, Tigger Clark, and Danny Ford. Just a nice job he's done putting this staff together. And boy, have they responded to them thus far today. Here's a nice look for Walkertown. Boy, good fake of his own for Grady there to create some space to score.
But Kinston, I agree with what Kinston did. The half-court trap, they try to steal it, and that's what you do if you don't get through. You give a layup, but that's all right.
Daniel's squad trying to react, trying to respond. There was what appeared to be a block. They're going to call that a tie-up, and the possession arrow will keep it where it is. Should mention on the inbound here, let's take a look at this.
Quite a big, I thought he got him there. He fell right in the head.
It ended up being a jump ball call. Alternating possession error keeps it here. Kinston to inbound.
I'm not sure what they're in. They go man and then they send.
That kicked out. Wolfpack, by the way, under the direction of Richard Daniels. Of course, his assistants, Mike Grace, Kenny Anderson. You knew a guy by that name, right?
Yeah.
Kendrick Williams, Gerard Jackson, Jonathan Douglas, Sean Payton, the group of assistants that Coach Daniels has working with him. Takes a whole team to get here. They do a nice job preparing him. And how prepared was he for this? Coots again from underneath.
Defensively, Walkertown, I'm not sure what's going on. They're not man, but it's very loosey-goosey. I'm not sure what it is.
Well, what kind of terminology would you put on it? You got to think about that one for a little bit. Inside the final minute of the first half. First half that has been all Kinston since the scoring finally started in the latter stages of that first period. Nice job to recover there for Wiley.
Good defense. Kingston's really good. They're really good.
And they've shown it on the scoreboard, up 11 at the moment. Walkertown turned aside, blocked by Chambers. Possession preserved. Kuntz and company. Out front it goes, laid home by Washington. Jamarian Washington again, one of the three all-conference performers with Herring and Wiggins. Stop, pop, Wiley has a bucket.
Good shot, good make.
10 seconds remaining in the opening half. Three's wide open. The welcome mat was rolled out, but it's too strong. Out of Chambers' hands. Big heave the other way, nothing doing. 28-17 will be the halftime score. How about this first half?
I think Walkertown is really happy with it. They let it down because they really got confused.
They'll be looking to make some adjustments at the intermission. It's coming your way next. The Air Experts Heating and Cooling halftime report. You're going to hear from Q Tucker, the commissioner of the association. You're also going to see first half highlights, stats, all that coming your way. That's the Heating and Cooling halftime report from Air Experts on the other side of the break.
You're watching the Air Experts Heating and Cooling Halftime Report. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com.
Well, hey there, everybody. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the State Championship High School Basketball Games. Joining us is our longstanding partner all the way from Ingalls Markets, Miss Melissa Level. Melissa, are you loving these excellent basketball games?
I love it. What a great season it's been, and the best of the best is right here now on television.
Best of the best is right. Now, let's talk about that longstanding and robust partnership between Ingalls and High School Championship Athletics. What all does that entail?
It's just absolutely wonderful to be able to connect with all the schools within our region. You know, we're in 6 states, and so we have Friday Night Lights with football, we do basketball, we have softball, even some Olympic-style sports, and we go all the way up through college, and then of course some minor leagues. But we just love that high school spirit and the fun with that. A lot of those players work with us. A lot of their parents have shop at our Ingalls. So it's kind of like a big family coming to watch all of them play, right? So we love that.
We love it as well. Melissa, as always, thank you for taking the time to speak with us here today.
Thank you.
All righty. Let's get back to the game, folks.
You're watching the Air Experts Heating and Cooling Halftime Report. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com.
Championship week is always a special time for high school athletics in North Carolina. Joining us now is NCHSAA Commissioner Q Tucker to talk about what this event means for student athletes across the state. Commissioner Tucker, Championship week is finally here. What does this event mean for the student athletes who have worked all season to get to this stage?
All of the teams that are playing this week are regional champions. And so they entered this week as already a champion. And now they're trying to, put that cherry on the top, so to speak, and go home with a state championship.
This year's championships feature 16 games across 8 classifications for both boys and girls. What went into the decision to structure the championships this way?
A couple of years ago, the membership voted to amend our bylaws so that you could have no more than 64 schools in a classification. Now, it would have been very easy to stop at perhaps 6 classes, but at the rate we've been adding new schools, we would very quickly needed the membership to amend the bylaw again so that we could have more than 64 teams in a class, or we'd have to go ahead and have more classes. So the recommendation to our board of directors was that we go ahead and go to 8 classes, and that would give some flexibility in terms of adding new schools.
How does that expanded format create more opportunities for schools and student athletes across the state?
Because we have more schools that are getting into the playoffs than would have ever been in the playoffs, and they're able to make a deeper run. And that's exciting for those schools as well as for those communities.
For many of these athletes, this is the biggest stage they've ever played on. How does the association work with schools to prepare them for moments like this?
They needed to know, where your team will unload and how you get into the arena, what your dressing room situation will be like. Lawrence Joel Coliseum will be the largest arena they have been in for some of them. And so we just try to make sure that all the nuts and bolts are in place for the coaches to be able to share with the athletes.
When the final buzzer sounds on championship weekend, what do you hope every student athlete walks away remembering about this experience?
We want you to play hard. We want you to play to win, but we want you to do that and have fun so that you walk away and you think, we won, it was great, or we were runner-up, but it was great, and I had a great time with my teammates. For some of them, it would be the last time that they put on that high school jersey because they're seniors. So we want them to go away with those memories that will last a lifetime.
Commissioner Tucker, thanks for joining us, and congratulations to all the teams competing this week.
Thank you very much.
You're watching the Air Experts Heating and Cooling Halftime Report. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com.
Home of the Deacons, Wake Forest University, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the site of the 2026 North Carolina High School Athletic Association Basketball Championships. We roll on through the 3A men's contest. Kinston started to open up a lead there in the second quarter. Let's show you how as we look back at our highlights from that first half. Coach, Kinston doing it a variety of different ways.
They just want to get to the hoop. They're going to drive the ball right at you. They're going to keep driving it, and they have good players to do it.
Also had a couple of big threes along the way that were timely to mix it up. As we look at the first half highlights, you're also going to notice all three of those guys we highlighted coming in. Herring, Wiggins, Washington, as advertised.
Well, all three of them. And what Walkertown has to do is to stop that from happening. They have to stop it.
Kuntz had 4. He was a factor as well. Chambers had 8. Washington with 9. Wiggins with a bucket. Herring with a couple of baskets in the game, including one of those threes. So we said it, so many different ways they can come at you. But here was some of Autry's good work. Remember, he's the all-conference performer beside Grady on the Walkertown side, and they're going to need a spurt in order to battle back. As we look at the arthritis knee pain center's numbers from the first half, what jumps off the page?
The turnovers right there. They have 9, all right? But field goals, they took about 8 bad shots, so that's a turnover to me. So it's a field goal. Take good shots.
So that number's higher than you even are looking at there in your mind.
Much higher, and defensively they have to contain the ball and get back on transitive defense. Have to stop them scoring on the fast break. Have to.
Reminder, arthritis knee pain center, relief without surgery or opioids, bringing you those overall stats. Here are the ready-to-roll points in the paint. Just a separation of 4. A lot of good work done in the interior in this game.
Yeah, because they're going up and down, and it's not an inside play game. It's not going inside. It's going to be rebounds.
Yeah.
Take the ball to the paint. But it's not going to be totally. You're not going to throw the ball inside and score.
It's a transition contest. Yep.
Totally.
And that's what a lot of those points have come from. Again, ready to roll. Call Raleigh's Garage Door Experts today. Those are our ready to roll in the paint numbers. We're ready to roll with the third quarter, and when you come back to Winston, we'll get it started on the other side of the break. Our broadcast brought to you by Riddle & Riddle will continue right after this. For the Walkertown Wolfpack, it has been a memorable year, a year of firsts. First region, first state championship appearance, and the goal not just be happy to be here, but to win it. They need a spurt in order to do that. And Coach, this team's been known for some. They went on a 7-0 run in the semis to end the first half, went on a 13-0 run to end the third quarter in that game. They're going to need a run somewhat similar to claw right back into this one.
They would have to share the ball more. They really have to pass it around, get him inside like that.
The trio of brothers, the coaching connection there of memory, and transition was the focus in their run through the playoffs. They need those type of transition buckets. As you see a look at the head man for this group, what a group it has been. They play hard. He talked about how much they deserve it because they're a group that fights to the end. He's going to need them to do that this time around for sure. But he talked so much about how, coaching and this team and in the state, this dynamic team is ready to work, and they're going to have to here. Find themselves down 28-17 as they go to work. This crew looking for a first trip to remember. And, Coach, we talk about the journeys here so many times. Could not be more different. It's a tale of two trips for these two schools. One that journeyed 188 miles and a 3-hour tour in terms of Kinston, and the other 17 minutes away, just 7 miles away for Walkertown. But it all comes down to a championship environment. And here's a straight takeaway by Kuntz, taken right back by Grady, and he'll stop, fire it, won't work, and is pulled down by Wiggins. All right, I always like to ask you at this point, what are your adjustments going into this second half?
Well, Walkertown they made an adjustment. They came out man-to-man. Now they have to contain the ball because these guys on Kingston can drive the ball hard to the basket. They didn't contain it that time.
Well, did you say something about driving it well to the basket?
No.
Guess who just did? There's a look at Herring again. Lily Groves. Here come the guys in green one more time. Kuntz. A little too strong. Rebound, McKendy's. Walkertown, beneficiary of a couple of missed shots there. Let's see if they can string something together. What would it take in your mind for this Walkertown squad to take a bite out of this advantage here in the third?
Like I said, share the ball, get the ball inside a little, and not go one-on-one so much. And then somehow or another, I'm more for them to get back in the zone because I don't know if they can cover these guys.
You like the zone?
Yeah, because they can get to the basket too easy. But I'm not sure. I have to see them play man-to-man more.
Starts with the scoring. Can they do that here as Rico Daniels triggers?
They only have 17 points, so
Durant.
It's scoring.
They're trying to do now. Basketball in hand for the Wolfpack. Contact, couple shots coming. This is going to be your first Tatum and Atkinson free throws of the third quarter. Injured in a car wreck. Call the heavy hitters at Tatum and Atkinson. Here's how he worked his way to the Tatum and Atkinson free throw line.
He does a good job getting to the hole. He really does. But he needs to go down there sometime and kick out, pass the ball back.
A little traffic being directed by Rico Daniels. Wolfpack to this point in the contest have not had this opportunity. That's the first free throw shot by Walkertown, and it goes through the hoop. The Tatum and Atkinson free throw kind. Those opportunities have just been few and far between. Well, non-existent until just a moment ago, if we want to be accurate. Both of them are true.
He shoots 63% from the field. Rico Daniels.
Just like to see him get as close to the basket as possible. That runs those percentages higher, and that's well off the mark. And will be Walkertown basketball. So here you go. They get it now in a position where they can make it single digits.
And Kingston hasn't done that all night. Pass one time and take a three. That's the first time they did it. That was one pass and a three.
One of the reasons that lead was built the way it
is.
It's bounced off of Wiley. Somehow it all pinballs around and ends up in his grasp again. Wiley goes to work. And he is anticipated and turned aside by Brennan Chambers. Chambers, a senior, we told you early on, he's a Marshall football commit. He plays with a physical approach, and boy, was he timely here with that block. He'll play for the Thundering Herd. He won't have to change his wardrobe, will he, Coach?
No, he won't. What position you think?
Be able to keep a lot of green in it.
What position football you think?
No, what do you think? How do you size him up?
Not sure.
Versatile type athlete. Have plenty of options about how to utilize him.
He's not a lineman.
Same's true with Kuntz. Take a look at this. He lays it home. And timeout called for on the backside as that lead is at 32-19 with 5:16 to play in the third. Kinston just keeps coming at you.
They keep coming. And they've been tested. They've been tested this year, so. And they're a high-octane team. They just keep going at you.
Well, you saw a nice play there. One of the many play of the game candidates. We will have the Akeem and Astapulo play of the game. Don't stream, call Akeem. Dial 800 all sevens. The reminder from Akeem and Astapulo, sponsor of our play of the game, coming your way at the conclusion of this contest. Fans into it. Everybody making sure they communicate expectations for these two teams. Again, just under 200 miles and a 3-hour tour for Kinston. The Vikings have embraced the journey well. 21-3 for Perry Tyndall's squad. Told you about his assistants, all of his staff. Of course, the trainer, Crystal Bryant, video, Daniel Torres, special analyst, Drew Tyndall, handling hydration, scorekeeper, Wande Jenkins. So many make experiences like this possible. How about that kept alive? What a job done underneath by Daniels.
That goes down as a rebound.
Daniels kept it alive, but no points on the end, and then a little bit of a miscommunication on the break.
That's a rebound when he's laying on the ground. That's a rebound.
One of the harder ones to get. It's got to work its way through everybody else.
Now, they have to really pass the ball. He went one-on-one. They have to, or they're going to. This score could get out of hand.
Important for Walkertown, these opportunities after a turnover. 7 miles, 17 minutes for Walkertown right here in the area. In fact, their band was playing the Demon Deacon fight song a little bit ago. So familiar with this area. Winston, the Triad. Happy to have you with us from here in Winston. Rising above and just kind of laying it home. Boy, you saw the elevation from Keyshawn Herring there, though. The junior, impressive.
Got to get back.
3 on the other end, won't go.
Here we go.
Pulled down by Wiggins. Taken back, Autry. And Autry going to be whistled for the travel as when he went up, Chambers timed it beautifully and left him right in no man's land.
Walkertown's not playing high percentage offensive basketball. They're taking really tough shots. Sharing the ball hard.
Walkertown, I'll go back to it, the 7-0 run, the 13-0 run, the 2 spurts that propelled them to the state championship environment. They're going to need something similar, if not greater than that, to make this one tight down the stretch. It is 34-19 now with 4:10 to play. And some candidates already emerging for our player of the game, Coach. You got 9 for Herring, 9 for Washington. That's 2/3 of that trio we were talking about. Candidates for our Riddle and Riddle player of the game. Riddle and Riddle when justice counts. Riddle and Riddle, sponsors of our player of the game.
That's really a nice backcourt. High school backcourt, the 2 right there you just talked about, that's a beautiful backcourt.
Well, and
when you had Herring and Washington, that's nice. That's like a good college backcourt, to be honest with you.
And then you had Genesis Wiggins in there too.
That's another one.
Think about what Chambers has done today. Kuntz is a nice addition. Gooding, who we talked about a little bit, off the bench among others. We saw Hawkins for a period of time earlier. Yeah, it's a wealth of individuals that can make their mark.
Yeah, they go deep. It's a little trap, but someone's.
Got 5 different players having scored in this contest today through the Vikings. What a move to lay it home.
Kingston's doing whatever they want to do.
That's Washington. He's part of the reason.
Yeah, they're doing whatever they want to do.
Washington with 11. He's the first to double figures. Answer on the other end from Grady. Grady trying to will his group back now.
Transition, good.
And Grady with the takeaway, but it's back into the hands of Chambers, who finishes with the bucket. Boy, just when it looked like Grady had done something positive on both ends of the floor, Chambers right where he needed to be. Yeah, Coach, Herring 9, Washington 9, Chambers 8. Wiggins a bucket. That was last check. Washington now 11. Chambers now 10. It just updated. And here's Grady. He's the last 2 trips been the go-to guy for Walkertown. But the gap grows further as
Good
another
pass.
one is laid home by Kuntz. And you said it, that was created beautifully.
Yeah, the players are in the right position. They spread out. Hard to defend. Hard to defend.
Looking out front to Herring. Has a teammate there. Jammed home by Genesis Wiggins. Kinston making a run of their own.
You can't run with these guys.
And a whistle staying what looked as if it was shaping up to be perhaps another fast break. One right after another from the Vikings of Kinston. And they're cruising now, 42-23 the advantage as we break away from Winston. Much more of our coverage of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Championships coming your way, brought your way by Riddle & Riddle Injury Lawyers. After this message. What a day to be enjoying a state championship moment and memory, perhaps one of the earliest memories. Brought your way on the Original Grills Fan Cam. Elevate your grill game. That's Original Grills, sponsors of our fan camp throughout the course of this North Carolina High School Athletic Association Championship Week. And it's stretched out to a championship week now. You got the 8 classifications. You got a men's and a women's championship on both sides. So if you're a basketball fan, settle in to Winston-Salem for the week and just enjoy rapid-fire championships coming your direction. It's been our pleasure to bring them to you from Sinclair Broadcasting as a part of our hoops packages around the country. We're showing these across the Carolinas, and they're brought to you by Riddle & Riddle. What a joy. Coach, Walkertown not going away. This is a team you know going to fight you right down to the wire, but they've got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they
here.
do, because Kingston's getting good shots. You know, they're high percentage shots.
Chased down by Kinston's
So you stop it.
Chambers into the hands of Washington now. Washington, Wiggins, Herring, we've talked about them throughout. That trio, the all-conference performers. You add Chambers to it. Kuntz has been good. Cutting in off the bench has made his presence known from time to time. Did we say Kuntz has been good? There's the junior again.
That's sharing the basketball. That's really nice basketball.
Kuntz becomes the 3rd in double figures. He joins Washington and Chambers in that category. Then you talk about the 7 boards that Wiggins has pulled down in addition to his buckets in this game. It's been everybody a contributor. Of course, Washington's been there. He leads the way. Give him 13 in the contest. Stop and fire away for Wiley, too strong. Out front, Herring elevates. One more coming as he'll look for 3 the old-fashioned way.
The game got out of hand. I mean, this.
On the doorstep of a half 100 now with this spurt. Herring and company coming to life.
Walkertown is elected just to run with them and just run up and down with them. And it's not going to work.
Herring with 11. Washington with 11. Chambers with 10. We talked about Wiggins with the 7 boards. By the way, Chambers 10 boards, 10 points. He's got the double-double out of the crowd right now. Here is Herring to the line. And his double-figure total rises by 1 as he knocks in the free throw. The Tatum and Atkinson free throw is true. Walkertown in some trouble now. Kinston, group that made their punch word coming into this championship environment, as this is laid home by Grady. Boy, Grady putting together a valiant effort here. He's in double digits. He's the only player in double digits on the Walkertown side. He's given full effort tonight, Coach.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Keenan Grady, the senior. The mantra, grateful. Grateful for the opportunity. Grateful for the skill set. Grateful for the chance to play in this environment, and they are showing it. Washington with another, and boy, are they grateful he's wearing those colors in Kinston green. What did Coach Dindal say? So many blessings in life, taking part of days like this. I loved what he said. He said being a part of these young men's lives as important as anything that happens out on the court. And it makes its hay, it experiences its joy in these moments when you can put a third quarter together like they just did, Coach.
Oh, yeah, and I totally agree with what he said. It really does. It's much more than that.
On the floor, it resulted in a 23-12 clip as they outscored Walkertown in the third to pull away and take command of the basketball game as they pursue a 3A crown. One more glance in this one at the stats through three quarters, brought to you by Arthritis Knee Pain Center. Relief without surgery or opioids. Coach, there are the numbers. Let's go ahead and show you the ready-to-roll garage doors, points in the paint as well through three quarters. Brought to you by Raleigh's Garage Door Experts. Ready-to-roll garage doors. You see the 42-20 split there, and both those numbers kind of speak for themselves.
Yeah, turnovers and rebounds really hurt, and they didn't take bad shots.
Looking to lob one to the interior. That's just out of Chambers' reach. Fourth quarter underway. Coach Perry Tyndall told his squad, this is as far as you can go in a basketball season. Be your best here. That's exactly what his team is doing right now. They lead at 53-27 as we wade into the fourth quarter. He said he's so proud of what they've become and how they've handled it, how they believe in one another. Of course, the football team had a tremendous run, as you might remember. He said it became contagious on campus. This kind of play is contagious. That was a snapshot of beauty.
What a heck of a shot.
Remarkable exclamation point in many ways on what that third quarter was to start the fourth here. But isn't that true what happens on so many of these campuses, Coach? You see a football team win a championship, play for a championship, all of a sudden the coaches get to talking, the athletes, some of them cross over, the ones that don't get to talking, and everybody suddenly starts to win.
They understand what winning is. Yeah, somebody can win it. They can win where they are.
Kinston cruising toward doing just that on the basketball side here. And speaking of Coach Tindall, he wants to take a timeout here and call his Vikings over. Talked so much about how much this community has loved basketball over the years. You know of the talent that's come out of Kinston, the NBA ranks and beyond, and they've provided it over the years. They, with this group, have written the latest chapter. Who can forget the journey to this point?
I faced many of those. You got Stackhouse. You have Maxwell, Cedric Maxwell.
You know a little bit about it, don't you?
No.
Come from that area. They love their basketball, and this is the group writing the latest chapter. Of course, they withstood the late run from Martin County to make it happen. The one thing he talks about with this team, we haven't talked about a lot yet, but we should. He talked about player-led accountability in that locker room. That's something you don't hear. It's something you don't hear a lot of.
You can tell that the way they play with.
Player-led accountability. You've seen it here.
Ooh.
Boy, tripped up from behind there into the contest was Braylon Lowe, the sophomore guard.
I was just talking about the backcourt with Washington. Those three, you brought the other. Those three players, that's a heck of a backcourt. In the state, I can't see three high school players like that.
Yeah, match it.
Good.
Match it somewhere, right?
They are really good. They got to be players. I mean, college players, too.
Talked about the big three coming into this, and they have become the big green machine for the Vikings of Kinston. The ships have sailed today, that's for sure. And they lead at 55-29. What is it they talk about in history? The Viking heaven, Valhalla. They're certainly living in it on this day. It has been something else what we've seen from this Kinston squad. Walkertown still fighting, but everything on that end of the floor is answered by something on this end of the floor.
They can't stop them.
And it's Washington again. Three won't go, and a second look. Here comes a third. Nice job hanging in there, putting that back up. That was Brandon Lowe, the sophomore again. He's got a bright future, and he comes away with a takeaway here. He's given every bit of effort. Altree, he'll go to the line. He's fouled with 5:56 to play.
That turnover half court was one of the first ones they've done where he just dribbled into it. They've been very smart about what they were doing. That was the first one. Get a little tired there, I guess.
Jordan Autry, the all-conference performer for nearby Walkertown, to the charity stripe for the see-through construction free throw. First one is good. See-through construction, your contractor of choice on the OBX. See-through construction.
Yeah, I would like to take Wiggins, Washington, and Herring. Take all three of them and make a college team out of it.
Keyshawn Herring, Genesis Wiggins, Shamarian Washington. You know, and then, by the way, as we said, Chambers today with double figures and a double-double as he's got double-digit rebounds, double-digit points. He's turned it into a quartet of leadership for Kinston.
This is well coached. They pulled it back out.
And Coach Tindall, he's coaching as if it's a one-point game in the fourth, isn't he? You see him on that far side. I go back to what he said. We were talking about it earlier. And you see it in the way his team plays. Snapshots like this from Washington. He said, so many blessings in life, the greatest of which is to be able to share in these young men's lives through the game of basketball. What a perspective about what it's really all about. And his team answering the bell. Wiggins again, everybody involved as they've eclipsed 60 and pulled away here in the state title game.
Well, I tell you what, they have three nice guards, and they go to the back, and they're smart players, hard, they play hard. They're basketball players, let's put it that way. They're college players.
You talked about the expectations being high and playing your best, and that's exactly what they've done. What a year for Walkertown. We pause for just a moment before we get to the deepest stages of this fourth quarter and say, 20 wins along the way for Coach Daniels and company. What they did to work close to home in a state championship environment. Overmatched today, as the scoreboard will tell you, but this is a team that's put together a tremendous year.
Oh, they have to be proud. You have to take this game the way it's turned out. Leave it alone. They had a great year. Great year. You have to have time to prepare to play these teams. You have to have 2 to 3, 4. You have to know the team to prepare. Because this team's better than your team, but you can beat them if you prepare for them. You have to have time to do that. So you can't do that in this game.
You're in a big tournament run,
yeah,
and making it from one game to the next. And you said it, when you get to this East-West game, so many times you see those East finals and West finals being so highly competitive and right down to the wire and highly contested and great energy and all. And you see that because these teams are familiar with one another because they battle it out across the course of the year. You made a point earlier in one of the women's games we were watching that these teams have a short period of time to figure one another out. The scouting report, not what it was when you were lining up against the Duke Blue Devils or the North Carolina Tar Heels in your ACC days.
Hey, listen, in college, we know everything, opposing plays.
Yeah,
we know what they're eating. We know everything.
Just about execution at that point. Here you're figuring it out to some degree as you go. And boy, the team in green has figured it out today. Little stop and drop one. Nicely done. McCandy's with a bucket. McCandy's 5 points in this one alongside those 14 from Grady, the 2 top scorers on the Walkertown side of things. That's the first time I think we've seen the Vikings take a breath with the basketball in their hands.
They spread it out. He's going one-on-one. It's just
hasn't happened a lot today. And the foul on Lowe, the sophomore.
Yeah, it's too bad for Walkertown, but they have to be proud of what they did.
Yeah, been a great year.
You have to leave this, and it's hard though.
And I don't know too many that could have lined up against this trio from Kinston today in the 3A ranks and had success. Wiggins to the line. He'll shoot the see-through construction free throws. And has the first one rim out. See-through construction, reminder, they're your contractor of choice on the OBX. See-through construction. Kinston. This incredibly impressive basketball team with high expectations and high-flying skills. Out front 63-37 now. Or 62, I should say, 37. That's a nice shot.
He's a good player.
Beautifully executed by Rico Daniels up top. But it's just negated on the other end by Coons. And that was the story early. Every time Walkertown would do something positive, Kinston had an answer.
They could stop him, right?
Rico Daniels was driving toward the bucket again. Whistle and a foul call. We'll sort it out on the other side of the break. 4 to play in the championship battle between the Vikings and the Wolfpack. Kinston forging toward a title. The Kinston players at the press conferences this past week, asked to describe their mentality, said, well, we play with it. If we stay together, nobody can stop us mentality. Certainly haven't been stopped today. They have played together to the tune of 64 points on the board here in the fourth quarter. And Coach, they find themselves just under 4 minutes away from a state championship. This is a special group. You think about the junior Herring, the junior Washington, obviously Wiggins and Chambers are the seniors in that starting lineup, and the third junior Kuntz that makes that core of this unit. You could throw Gooding in there, the junior, Garner off the bench, also a junior, Hawkins, who's a senior, we've seen from time to time today. It's just a deep, deep squad with a great deal of confidence in one another.
And the big thing is they share the ball, so everybody gets a chance to score and do their thing. And that's really important in basketball. You have to let everybody feel good. And so I take my hat off to them. They're a very well-coached team.
Walkertown will have Rico Daniels at the line. Remember, he was fouled just before the break, and with 3:56 to play, he's going to try to work to that 40 threshold. He'll do so.
He's a good player.
You've been impressed with him today.
Yes, I have it. It's sometimes, he's trying to take it one-on-one, but skill-wise, he's a very good player.
Well, he certainly was good on that see-through construction free throw. In fact, he's good on both of them. This Walkertown team, a perfect 6 for 6 from the charity stripe, just as those numbers tell you, haven't been there a lot. Hey, he's still got skills. Coach Tyndall was ready to go on that bench for the Vikings. He's staying alert over there. Boy, what a job he's done with his team. And with the right spirit, he talks about the blessings and the challenges and what happens off the court being more important than what happens on the court. All the pieces are there for this Vikings squad. And a foul call right down underneath the bucket with 3:38 to play. It's going to be a Chambers. Third foul on Chambers there. And that's a team fourth. 3 fouls on Chambers, 3 fouls on Wiggins, 2 on Washington. When you're tracking foul issues here in the fourth, it's of little consequence, you would think, right now to the outcome, as Kinston is trending on toward a title. Walkertown giving you every bit of fight you would expect out of them down to the wire. And Grady, who just knocked home his 15th point of the day, has been special for the Wolfpack. Handed off underneath, blocked by Lowe. But relentless effort has been the story for the Vikings.
That's a heck of a possession. That's a lot of good hands right there, because the hands got that thing going.
How many times was it disrupted?
Well, here we go, one.
Before Herring finishes it. That was his drive through, and he goes to the line for an and-one chance.
They have not taken many jump shots. Most of them have been drive to the baskets.
Well, that'll help you shoot 58% from the floor, won't it? That's
Exactly
what they have done today. 29 of 50 from the field. And the see-through construction free throw there as well.
And they've only taken, what, 8 3-points?
8 threes.
Yeah, it's only they're taking 8.
Connected on 2 of them.
Yes, it's tremendous.
Back of the iron won't fall into the hands of Genesis Wiggins. You think about the genesis of this squad, and it comes down to the group that we've talked so much about, a quartet today on the floor leading the way. And I go back to, if folks weren't with us when we talked a little bit about it at the end of the third quarter, the upperclassmen being the leaders in the locker room, receiving praise from their coaching staff for doing so. It's a big piece of the puzzle.
Yes, it is. It really is.
3 and change to go. I know from a coach's perspective, and you've been there many times, it has to be nice when you can look up at the scoreboard and see enough separation that you aren't pulling your hair out en route to that championship moment.
There's usually not a lot of those days. I mean, a 10-point game, I'm doing it.
It has to be like this.
There's very few times you have games like this.
67-42 as Kinston has flexed its muscles in this state championship environment. Plenty to be proud of for Walkertown, as we said. What a year they put together, and they continue to battle right down to the wire here. But the guys wearing that trademark Kinston green, looking to do what football has done, looking to do what basketball has done so often historically. And Kuntz etches another bucket onto his scorebook section today, and he continues to write the latest chapter for this Vikings athletic history.
Chambers, wide receiver.
You figured it out.
I can't figure out another position. I'm trying to figure out positions here.
Coming back into the game, Durant.
Linebacker, that's for sure.
Durant for Walkertown. You know, you're going to give your seat way to a linebacker here in just a minute. The old Tar Heel linebacker coming our way. I'll tell him you said so. Of course, Kevin Cantwell with us. Long time basketball lifer, you might say. How about this? Laid home by Washington. Been a pleasure to walk alongside you in these if I don't get a chance to say it again before we're done. Always a joy in the journey when we get to do this together.
Same here. Same here. Thank you very much.
Of course, you notice that accent. It's a trademark. He was at Georgia Tech for years, head man at App State and beyond here in the state of North Carolina. And take some time out of the busy schedule to make sure he's a part of these high school championship environments each year. It's a pleasure to have Kevin Cantwell with us. We got a player down here with 1:50 to go. And the last thing you want to see in this game, which is
Chambers
come this direction, would be anybody to be shaken up in these moments.
There's cramps.
They're tending to it. You hope that's all it is. I'm saying from your mouth to God's ears right now in terms of you hope there's nothing more there for any of these players in this contest after putting together such tremendous years.
You can tell by the way he rubbed his legs.
Yep. Doesn't make it feel any better at the moment, but he's going to be okay. They bring him to his feet. A nice hand for Washington. It's Shamarian Washington, the injured Kinston Viking. 1:50 left to play. We remind you, one more contest left to play. A little bit later this evening, we kind of alluded to it a moment ago that there's another coming. You'll see Reedsville and Salisbury, the Rams and the Hornets, going to collide for the 4A men's championship at the conclusion of this one. So this Friday, winding on toward closure. I tell you, Coach, if you're a basketball lover, the way these things spread out now with the 8 classifications and the 2 championships on each side, pitch a tent in Winston-Salem and you're going to enjoy yourself, right?
You're going to have the whole week of it.
1:50 to play. What are your takeaways from this one?
Well, I just think the Kingston's, they're a very, very good basketball team. And if you have good guards, you're even extra better, you know?
And you saw, and this is what you've done for a living for a lifetime, is spot young talent, develop it, grow it, and turn it into lifetime professional talent. You see a lot of potential in that camp on this floor.
Yeah, I see a college player.
And how about a championship moment for this young man? Keyshawn Kenner adds his name to the group scoring in a championship environment. And you know what makes that even sweeter for the Vikings? He's a senior on the floor in the state championship environment. He and Hawkins, the 2 seniors off the bench, and he has a moment to remember.
You'll have it for the rest of his life.
With 1 minute to play, there's a bucket for Justin Gooding. We showed you Gooding, the junior, early in this one. And he's going to go to the line for one more. How about this, Coach?
Unbelievable.
Everybody a contributor for the Kinston Vikings. There's a see-through construction free throw coming. And here's the moment they've waited for, Coach. They call for the starters. They call for the seniors, even Kenner over there, after his big bucket a moment ago, and they receive a nice ovation from the community. Now, that's nothing like what's going to happen when they get off the bus back home, right?
No.
The trophy's coming with them in about a minute.
Rico Daniels is a nice player. He does a nice pull-up jump shot.
And still battling, just what you would want. Wolfpack fans should be proud. 3 from the corner will not go. That was an effort for Jaden Herring to get involved. That hangs on the rim. It's somewhat symbolic of what the evening has been for Walkertown. But they'll make the short trip back up the road. They'll regroup, be grateful for what these seniors like Wiley and Grady have done, and be ready to make the latest run another time in another place. You know, something about always that first team that gets you there. They may not always be the team that closes the deal, but they're the team that always lays the foundation.
You're exactly right.
And Walkertown can be proud of this group for that.
Well, they have to be proud. Well, today, maybe not. They're proud, but after today, they'll be proud.
What this group has done, tremendous. And that is Grady knocking it home.
Grady's put up some good numbers. He's done a good job there.
Grady with 16 points, and he's pulled down 9 boards. One more rebound here in the closing seconds, and he could be a double-double performer. 17 for Grady.
He shot the ball at a high percentage.
He gave you everything you wanted today.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, the water's parted.
The defender went the wrong way.
To allow the sophomore Jaden Herring to lay it home. Elijah Garner in the game. A number of these players getting to be a part of it. There's Brown. J.B.O. Brown, the sophomore. Going to call a tie-up. Also into the contest, John Terrion Cobb, another of the sophomores. So everybody for Kinston, the value of a game like this is getting to have valuable moments when it comes to the state championship environment.
They're a team, you know, I wrote down before the game, starting 5 all capable of scoring. That happened.
Well,
and the depth is tremendous.
They've done it. And just moments ago, Coach Ford's walking by us here, the head coach of the Demon Deacons. He's wanting to get an eye on some of this talent as we speak as well. There's the final horn. And the Kinston Vikings have completed an impressive championship run. 80 on the board. Coach Perry Tyndall and company going to carry the title back down the road east of here with a year to remember. What an afternoon turned evening for Kinston. Vikings, everything you would expect them to be in this one, Coach.
Yeah, they were good. They were really good. They came in, they represented the school really well.
Herring with 21, Washington with 21, Kuntz with 14, Chambers with 10, a full quartet in double figures in this one. We'll come back, have the trophy presentation, get set to wrap up this 3A men's title contest. It's the Kinston Vikings. They'll reign in 3A in the Old North State. We'll come back, have all the superlatives for you on the other side of the break. A dominant and impressive performance by Kinston as the Vikings claim the crown, latest chapter in the strong athletic history of one of the great schools in the state. And Coach Perry Tyndall joins us now. Coach, first of all, congratulations. You talked about what a blessing it has been to coach these young men, and what happens off the floor being just as important as what happened on it makes this all the more special.
It does. You know, a lot of people don't know the journey this team's been on this year, and it hasn't always been easy. There's been a lot of bumps in the road and a lot of criticism. And this group has just grown. I think in the last 3 weeks, we've grown up a whole lot. And when you see a team kind of have those tough moments, but then find a way to kind of get it all together and do it together, do it with defense, do it with things we've been preaching, you just are super proud of your group when they get to this point, and they put it all together.
You told them you can't go any further than this, be your best. They were.
You know, Coach, you came out. You don't shoot the three. Do you really go after just taking the ball to the basket?
Well, that was one of our keys was attack. We had to attack.
Yeah.
We felt like, in attacking, you'll get threes you want. We hit a couple early, but, in this game, we just felt like we had to get in the paint.
Good job.
With paint touches, good things would happen. And then I think late we were able to start running a little bit and get out in transition.
Right, it was all transition.
Yep.
You only took 9 of the whole game, but and you had 3 college-type guards, man. They
Yes.
played man.
Our guards have led us all year.
I mean, they're nice players.
Oh, they're tough. They're tough kids, and we've got role guys just stepping in there, and just so happy for this group, man. We told them they were 32 minutes away from a lifetime memory, and they've got it. And they've got something etched in Kinston history that nobody can ever take away.
I want to tell you, you're a very good coach because you share the ball. You have good players sharing the ball, and defensively, you keep the ball. You do a great job keeping the ball in front of you, man.
I have a great coaching staff with me and players that love this game and love representing for Kinston, and it's not me, it's all those people over there on that sideline.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Coach, you have written the latest chapter in the athletic history at your place. Our last question for you, what's going to be your memory and your takeaway from this group?
This is a championship unlike any of the other ones. This group did it the hard way, and I think the lessons they learned this year are going to go with them a lifetime.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy it.
Thanks,
What a
man.
ride
Thank
for
you.
his group, that's for sure. They, as he said, did it through some difficulty and did things, from his words, the right way, and that's going to make it all that more sweeter as he now joins his team for this celebration. And, Coach, you can tell in visiting with him and in these moments that you're talking to a great basketball mind, but you're also talking to one of the great gentlemen in this game who understands what he's trying to do with these young men on and off the floor.
You know, people don't realize coaching is about teaching the tools of life. That's what it is. And then the kids come back to you, and that's what he's talking about. And so you take ball. And if you're teaching the tools of life, the kids start respecting you. If you're just going to teach basketball, they're not going to respect you very well.
That's where the lifetime relationship comes in.
Yep.
Congratulations to a well-deserved champion. All right, we've got some of the superlatives to send your way, and boy, were they hard to choose from on this day. The folks in the truck with some difficult decisions. Here's our play of the game, one of what could have been many. It is the Akeem Anastapulo play of the game.
Excellent
There
pass.
was the jam. Kind of served as an exclamation point when they were making that
Yes,
run.
exactly. Nice play.
One more time, that's our Akeem Anastapulo play of the game as it was jammed home by Wiggins, one of those trio we talked about. Medals being handed out as we speak. Of course, that was our Akeem Anastapulo play of the game. We turn attention now to our player of the game. And Brendan Chambers put together a double-double. Had the 10 points and 13 boards, Coach. I'll say it again, 13 boards to become our Riddle and Riddle play of the game. And you see some of those rejections as well. The blocks were there. The steal game was there. Chambers did a little bit of everything for this group. And not only that, but amidst of all those juniors, he and Wiggins are the senior leaders.
And his high school career is over. He's going to play football from now on.
He's headed to Marshall as a football commit, as we told you earlier. Doesn't even have to change the wardrobe. Going to be plenty of green in it moving forward. And he certainly got the green light today in terms of the W that his team put together. Well, we've done it for you each championship game. It's worth doing again. Keyshawn Herring, Genesis Wiggins, Jamarian Washington, Brendan Chambers, Jair Kuntz, Justin Gooding, Elijah Garner, Jalen Hawkins, Jaden Herring, DeJabriel Brown, John Terrion Cobb, Keyshawn Kenner. That's the entire roster for this Kinston team. You're hearing their names called as we speak. And Coach gave a nod to his coaching staff. Tad Parson, Jackson Fink, Carson Shepard, Tigger Clark, Danny Forick. This group and what they have done, just remarkable today, and everybody involved in it. You give Crystal Bryant, the trainer, the video people, Yaniel Torres, special analyst in hydration, True Tyndall, and even the scorekeeper, Dwayne Jenkins, everybody is needed, Coach, in a championship moment. And for all those people, including the principal, Kellen Bryant, and the AD, Ryan Geiselman, everybody in Kinston is going to celebrate this one together.
They're going to enjoy it. They're going to enjoy it.
Well, we're moments away from the announcement of the outstanding player on each side and then the most valuable player for this contest. Again, somewhat hard to pick from. 21 for Herring, 21 for Washington, 14 for Coates, 10 in the 13 boards for Chambers, and they just announced the head man, and you heard the reception that he received. What a job he's done. Coach Tyndall now grasping that basketball. Nothing for a coach like the satisfaction of closing the deal, right?
All right. He's still coaching. He still has his coaching.
Because coaching is so much more, as you
Yeah,
said, as he
you got
said,
it.
than just what happens
Tell you how to
during,
do it.
during a basketball game. Well, he'll teach them how to hang that latest banner when they get back,
That's right.
too. That's headed for the gym in Kinston.
From Kinston, North Carolina, their state champs in this
There's a memorable look at the state champions,
Kinston High School
the Vikings, in that trademark green. Kinston group, 80-54, a statement type of victory in the state championship environment. And they will take that trophy over for everybody wearing green to enjoy as they celebrate a title. Here come the outstanding player announcements. We talked about what a tremendous season for Walkertown and the Wolfpack.
Oh, yeah.
Much to build on. First team to work their way here. It's going to be remembered as a foundational group. And what an honor this is, as members of the American military are going to be on hand to pass out these awards. What an honor that is to shake hands with those true American heroes.
For Walkertown tonight was number 10.
Members of the Army National Guard on hand to do so. Kind of had an idea it would be him, didn't you, Coach?
Yes, I
Keenan
did.
Grady, double figure performance, and another leadership day for him as he battled to the very end.
He did a good job putting the ball in the basket. He really did.
Grady ended up with 17 points, pulled down 9 boards, was one shy of a double-double. He also had a block and a couple of steals today.
Outstanding player, powered by the United States Army National Guard. For the Kinston Vikings.
The outstanding player for Kinston.
Chambers.
Chambers, the double-double. We showed you his numbers earlier. We'll verbalize them one more time for you. 13 boards, 10 points, a double-double. He had a couple of blocks and a steal as well in 30 minutes of action on the floor for Kinston.
Congratulations, Brennan.
Football player. Gets
Yep.
MVP of the state tournament.
Headed to Marshall, right? And here comes
Played
the
well.
MVP of the entirety of the tournament run, and certainly of what has happened here today. And here comes the announcement.
It's from Kinston High School, and it's number 3, Jamarian Washington.
Jamarian Washington going to be selected. Washington, who led the way with 21 points. He and Herring both reaching that threshold.
Nice
He had
goal.
the 5 assists and also the 5 boards, 4 of which were offensive, that created tremendous opportunities. But a 21-point performer and a leader throughout. The junior, Washington, is the MVP.
I'm very impressed with him. He had great teammates, but very impressed with him.
Well, we show you the final Arthritis Knee Pain Center statistics from this one. Arthritis Knee Pain Center relief without surgery or opioids. And there are the numbers as they finished up. Coach, that shooting percentage tells you everything you need to know, right?
In rebounding. Shooting percentage and rebound tells everything.
They shoot 60% in the game to the victorious Vikings. And, of course, the ready-to-roll garage door points in the paint. Raleigh's garage door experts call them today 64-34. 64 out of 80 in the paint, not too shabby for this Kinston squad when all is said and done. Pleasure to have you alongside. Your final thoughts on what we witnessed here today?
It was great day. And right now, I really feel good for the Kinston team. I mean, because they got a nice team, got kids coming back next year, so he's looking forward to that. I know he is.
Future's bright. They might not be going anywhere.
Exactly right.
Thank you to our sponsors, Riddle & Riddle Injury Lawyers, Air Experts, Heating and Cooling, Tatum & Atkinson, See-Through Construction, Ready to Roll Garage Doors, Arthritis Knee Pain Center, Akeem Anastapulo Law Firm, Paramount Auto, Tip Top Roofing, Original Grills, and Ingalls Markets. Thank you to my broadcast partner, Kevin Cantwell, the ACC and Carolina basketball, North Carolina basketball and beyond lifer. We appreciate his work on these shows. And for everybody in the truck, we'll see you in just a bit when Game 4 of Championship Friday continues. This one goes to Kinston in dominant fashion. The Vikings are champions again. This time on the basketball side, this time in a memorable 2026.